What is the adult version of finding out that Santa Claus doesn't exist? Finding out that reaching retirement is about hitting a financial number and not reaching an age. User replies. Also finding out that this financial target is much harder to reach than you were led to believe, and it gets worse every year. User replies. My dad used to play the lottery. We were poor, but he always played the Powerball, $1 a week. For Christmas, his favorite stocking stuffer was getting us each a Powerball ticket. When he retired and moved to Vegas to live near my brother, he would take a trip down to Arizona twice a month to buy his Powerball down there. It was his ticket to the possibility of financial success. It rubbed off on me a bit, and while I never was a regular player, I would buy 1 or 2 when the jackpots got high and dream about what I'd do if I won. Eventually I lucked into a role in a career that made me moderately successful. Not rich, but comfortable enough that I haven't bought a lottery ticket in over a decade. The other day I was at work and one of the senior level leaders who I'm friendly with struck up a conversation about early retirement and making it big in the market so he could do the FIRE thing. I was immediately struck with the memory of my father and his lottery tickets. No matter how much we make, some of us always think there's some magical rung on this ladder that makes us financially successful and will allow us to just kick back and forget all the rest. But that shit's a fallacy. There's no easy exit for us wage slaves. Work until we die. Make more money. Pay more money. Life's way easier now than it was when I was a kid and was mostly concerned if the box of magic stars had roaches in it yet, but it's still hard in different ways and we're all stuck in it forever. User replies. I used to work with a guy who was planning on retiring on Friday. Wednesday's draw netted him $1,126,000. He came in Thursday to say he wasn't feeling like coming in on Friday, lol. User replies. In project management we have the bus factor/lottery factor. When planning a project, we ask, what would we do if this person got hit by a bus? Less grim version is, if they won the lottery. It's for making sure you have enough redundancy and you aren't dependent on a single person. Finding out that someone you have looked up to and admired your entire life is actually a horrible person. User replies. Had this moment with a close friend last year and my life will never be the same. You have to routinely think, hey, if I just met this person would we be friends? If the answer is no, you have to seriously reevaluate your friendship. User replies. That's crazy. I said the exact same thing when I decided to stop being friends with someone I'd known for 20+ years. I thought I came up with the idea, lol. Sometimes there is no justice. User replies. Most murders are never solved. User replies. And most rapes are never even investigated. User replies. So many rapes are committed by people you know. It's not some dangerous dude lurking in an alley, it's a friend who sees you drunk and passed out and takes advantage, or a date that simply can't hear the word no, and so on. Being a hard worker and good at your job doesn't necessarily mean that you'll be rewarded for it. User replies. And the laziest person at work is allowed to be lazy, but the hardest worker isn't allowed a break. User replies. This is why boundaries are so important with an employer. Don't give them the idea that you'll work 80-hour weeks. Someone's bad planning or lack of communication does not lead to an emergency that requires you to stay late tonight. Some might call that lazy, others might call that standing up for yourself. There's a balance to be met between burning yourself out for no to little reward and being truly lazy. Split the difference and you're golden. User replies. I don't know how old you are, but I find the current generation is so much better at this. My generation, boomers, had it drilled into our heads to be loyal to our employer and they'd be loyal to us. What a truckload of bullshit that turned out to be. When you buy an 8-piece Tupperware set, 4 of the pieces are lids. User replies. Same with pots and pans. What a rip-off. $500 isn't a lot of money. User replies. Yes. And then also when you need $500 and don't have it, it is a lot of money. That some friends were never really your friend. User replies. On a related note, your coworkers are not your friends. User replies. I think most people seem to treat this as the default stance, but I've learned you can actually make deep connections amongst coworkers, the same way you do in other stages of your life. I thought I'd grow up, move out, find my footing in the grown-up world and basically switch into cruise mode. Now I'm in my 40s and shit is confusing as fuck. User replies. As adults, nobody knows what they're doing, we're just pretending we do. User replies. Adults ask kids what they want to be when they grow up because they are looking for ideas. One dumb mistake and it could all be over. User replies. And it doesn't even have to be your mistake. User replies. My buddy says, one mistake probably won't kill you, but 3 in a row might. When I was a kid I thought adults had everything figured out and couldn't wait to grow up so I could be like them. Ha. You can do everything right and still fail. The reverse is true as well. User replies. It is possible to commit no mistakes and still lose. That is not a weakness. That is life. Quote by Jean-Luc Picard. For me it was realizing the high school mindset in people never ends. See it in 60 years olds in Facebook now. User replies. It's actually infuriating when you're in a work environment and the people that work there still all act like high school students. Joe's sitting around looking at his phone. Boss, so I'm not going to work either. Brittany looked at me. Tell her to stop. Frank farted in the break room. You need to write him up for being disgusting. That going to college and getting a 9 to 5 wasn't going to be the fun, creative, latte-filled experience rom-coms would have you believe. User replies. And that getting a 9 to 5 means that you will actually get to stop working at 5. User replies. It's where I draw the line. Sure, I may not get the nice promotion or the best bonus, but I'll get my damned sleep. Realizing that no, we can't have McDonald's, 'cause there is food in the freezer. That time period when your relationship switches and your parent looks to you for answers and advice, instead them being the one with all the answers. User replies. Not sure about that one. Dad simultaneously says I'm the smartest person he knows and I don't know how to do anything lol. User replies. My mother berated me for taking my master's instead of jumping into the workforce at a time when there were no jobs in my field, 2011. She also believes that because she inherited generational wealth that anyone can pull themselves up by their bootstraps and work a minimum wage job to buy a house. We, don't talk much. Working full-time and being too drained to chase your actual dream. User replies. You guys have dreams? I just don't want to be in pain every waking moment. When you realize basically everyone is just faking it till they make it. User replies. Still faking it, waiting for the make it part. Finding out that your parents are people, too, with weaknesses or flaws that you were blind to when you were young. User replies. And the day you suddenly notice how old they are. When their mortality finally hits you. User replies. Yep, had that day earlier this month. Was visiting for Dad's 75th birthday. As I was leaving, out in the sunshine and fixing to get in the truck, I suddenly saw how small and frail-looking they are now. Mom hit me the hardest. She started to shrink. They are both healthy, but Dad's just worn. Been also doing the math lately. The math where you count up how many times you see them a year and then multiply that by how many years they have left according to the average. I've had enough crap and surprise losses in my life that I've long since started parting with family and friends like it might be the last time I get to see them. But that time's left to see them calculation really clobbers me with my folks, and it's not even that bad yet for me. Given the ages of my grandparents when they passed, I've probably still got somewhere between 150 to 200 visits. But the meter is running. Well, that's it. You made it to the end of the video. Thanks a ton for watching. And to all you amazing subscribers out there, you're the real MVPs. Take care, and I'll catch you in the next one.